Welcome one, welcome all to another episode of A-Hole or Not the A-Hole. Then check the comments to see if you were right. Or, for short, a haunta tuk you were. Some people have told me that acronym doesn't roll off the tongue necessarily, but hey, we're in too deep now. I've made quite a few of these. Join me on the road to 10,000 subscribers by 2026, which if not met, I will quit YouTube forever. So, help me live out my dream, hit that subscribe button, and woo, baby! AITA. My girlfriend wants to get rid of all photos of my ex. If you got a few photos of her scattered throughout your camera roll, you're fine. Okay, you're not the a-hole for that. If you have explicit images of her still on your phone, yeah, you should probably delete that. Printed out, like hung up pictures of y'all together in your house, you should probably get rid of that. Why would you have printed out, hung up pictures of somebody that you're not like actively married to? I'm gonna assume here there are a few pictures of her scattered throughout his camera roll. I don't think they're explicit. I think the girlfriend is just being a little bit possessive, not the a-hole. Let's read the comments. NTA. That's one on the correct. Let's read the body post. I've already cleared my home of any photos we had together, but she found a drawer where I put them and wants me to get rid of them. I suggested putting them in a box and burying them in the storage locker. She says that's not enough. We were together for 8 years. I'm not going to destroy those memories. Am I an a-hole? Apparently it's a deal breaker. Edit. Now she's saying if I digitize everything, it's okay. Burn the hard copies, but files on a computer are fine. Yeah, definitely not the a-hole. You're with someone for 8 years. I think, anyways, that it's kind of just immature to allow a breakup to ruin like memories you have with someone, even if you're not like with that person anymore. Oh shoot. Am I the a-hole for losing empathy to my postpartum wife after she insulted me? Whew. What does postpartum mean again? Okay, so she just gave birth. Oh, yes, you are the a-hole. There's just so many hormones, and I mean, you just gotta bear with her. If you're the husband and your wife gives birth, you just not that it has to be that way. I'm just saying in this situation, you just kind of got to be a yes man for a little bit, just until things cool off a little bit. Actually, no, becoming a dad, you kind of just got to become a yes man. That's just kind of how it works. Yes, you are the a-hole. Let's read the comments. We have an NTA. Do y'all have any idea what this means? My wife is 2 months postpartum. We've been together for 6 years nearly. I didn't get a paternity leave and I am a shift worker, which means I have to make as many shifts as I can in order to support my family. As my wife isn't working, she was laid off when she was 4 months pregnant. Awful employer. She was never able to find another job because employers didn't want to hire somebody who'd take a maternity leave later on. My work is very physically demanding and I often need to recover, and I know this is nothing compared to what my wife is going through, but that doesn't mean my regular problems end or don't need to be dealt with just because she gave birth. Her mom has been staying with us to support her recovery and help with the night feeds for our baby. Because of my job, it's not possible for me to be sleep deprived. We tried that initially, but I was written up at work the next day. This has caused some unjustifiable resentment from my wife, despite the fact that she knows my situation. We often fight over this, and as I can't attend to my parental duties because I desperately need to put money on the table, which my wife can't right now, I'm under so much stress and don't know who else to talk to. My wife's problems are always bigger. It's like I'm not allowed to be human or express how I'm feeling at all, and I've begun to resent her too. One evening when I came home from work, I had an injury on my arm and was worried about getting tetanus. I called a friend asking for advice while my wife overheard me and said something snarky, telling me I'm useless because she has to rely on her mom right now when I should have been there. I really feel like I've run out of empathy for this person and don't feel like I can feel safe or validated around her. So I sincerely asked, do you like saying that? Does that make you feel good to call your partner useless? What a shame. I would never say something like that to you, even though you aren't helping our family financially at all, even though you're supposed to. I didn't raise my voice or have an irritated tone. This was mostly out of curiosity and how hurt I was. She started crying and saying sorry, probably because I could sense I triggered guilt in her, but I didn't comfort her or reassure her of my love because I didn't want to. If she felt bad, she probably needed to, so I let her cry. I simply said that I will disengage from her next time she says something hurtful to me and won't allow myself to be spoken to that way again. I was polite but very firm on what my position was on this. We haven't really spoken much, and I've been sleeping away from her because I can't stand to be near her. She asked me to come to bed, and I just think I needed space. Now she texts me that she really hated the fact that I put her on the spot with my line of questioning and how I should not do that. I said if my questions made her uncomfortable, it was a sign that she needs to do some self-reflection and become a better partner to me. Was I too harsh? Yes! No, screw that. You are the asshole! You the butthole all the way. Like I said, bro, you just gotta say yes ma'am, no ma'am. That's just how it's gotta be. Now look, I'm 20. No, you know what? I'm not even gonna try and justify myself for that. I'm just gonna let you guys argue in my comments and call me out for it because it boosts my comment engagement. This is one of those rare situations where I am changing what the general consensus in the comments was because bro is the a-hole. Literally is the a-hole. Your wife just gave birth, of course she's stressed out. Of course life is stressful because you're adults and you're both, yes, you're the a-hole, but it's not that bad. It's nothing you can't recover from. AITA for telling my wife to kick out her friend who's been living with us for the past month after her husband kicked her out. Wow, wait, hang on. One more time, run it back. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife to kick out her friend who's been staying with us for the past month after her husband kicked her out? No. What the heck? Me personally, if someone is going through a tough time or in a bad situation, I am more than happy to allow them a place to stay while they get themselves, back on their feet. But a month, I mean, that's kind of plenty of time to get back on track. NTA. So your wife welcomed a cheater into your house, then left her with you for 10 to 15 days when she goes overseas? What the hell? Wait, hang on. Let's find an answer before we get all crazy. You are totally in the right here about the unacceptableness of your wife literally extending an invitation to a guest without consulting you. Boom! Let's read the body text before we put it on the board. My M45 wife's friend Zell, F32, has been living with us for the past month after her marriage imploded about a month ago. Zell came to our country about 3 years ago on a work visa. She was working for a company and met my wife, Molly, F43, at a work event. Molly and Zell became quick friends as Molly used to do social work, and she found Zell's story to be very motivating and interesting. Zell started dating this guy, I'll call him Ed, M35, who had recently launched a company in her field. She left her original job and started working for Ed, and not long after that, they got married. Zell's job became pretty cushy, so instead of working, she went back to college to pursue a career in social work, and since Molly had experience in this, she became a sort of mentor for Zell. With Ed funding Zell's education and living expenses, it seemed like everything was set for her. Fast forward to mid-August, and Ed found out Zell had been cheating on him for several weeks with one of her classmates. Ed immediately cut funding for Zell's education and kicked her out of his house. The prenup Ed had her sign left her with absolutely nothing, effectively making her penniless and homeless. On top of that, Ed has spread the story across their community, and as such, Zell's reputation is in tatters, and her family back in their home country wants nothing to do with her, supposedly. The divorce hasn't been finalized at the time of this writing. With the resources he has, I imagine Ed could speed up the process, but for whatever reason is dragging on. With seemingly no one to turn to, Zell came to us, and Molly welcomed her one day while I was at work. Since then, she's been living in our basement. Molly spends a lot of time now just talking to Zell and trying to help her get her life back on track. So much so that it's starting to affect our personal lives, and I feel like childcare had been made exclusively my responsibility for most of the week. Not only that, but since our gym equipment is in the basement, I had to stop working out, which adversely affected my own mental health. I've been very annoyed about the entire situation, but have largely borne it in silence until last night. Right before bed, Molly started going on about how the divorce could take months and that we need to find Zell a lawyer. At this stage, I told her that Zell had overstayed her welcome and needed to leave. It got pretty heated, and my wife said I was being shockingly unempathetic. I told her she was ignoring her responsibilities to our children, which deeply offended her. In the end, I told her that as a compromise, we could buy Zell a plane ticket back to her home country so she could be with her family. Molly was so upset at this for whatever reason and just responded with good night. We haven't spoken since then, partially because I decided to go to work in my office today since I needed a break from Molly's nonsense. I honestly don't know what to do at this stage. I just want that woman out of my home. AITA, update. 15 hours later, still haven't really spoken to my wife. Partially because I was at work all day, but also because I was hoping she'd reach out first. When I got home, Zell was hanging around like nothing happened, though I guess expecting her to magically leave would be asking her for too much. Before the day is gone, I will talk to my wife about our situation again because it needs to end. Also, for those wondering, the classmate won't have her either. According to my wife, he told Zell that his personal life would be destroyed if he tried pursuing anything with her, so he ended things abruptly. To my understanding, he has a wife too, who doesn't know he cheated. So the footage of me reading the story and then putting the point on the board got corrupted. So this is probably where I would say something like, boom, it's that easy, one on the board, and then we move on to the next one. So just pretend like that's what you just saw. Whew. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend that my ex-wife was tighter? Jesus! I mean, you can't say that. Yes. What the heck? That's insane. Alright, nobody is saying YTA or NTA, but I've read enough of them to see that OP is definitely... I, M39, hate it when people make fun of others. I mean, I know that people gossip and talk amongst friends about other people, and I am guilty of that too, but I got very upset when my girlfriend, F32, started talking about my ex-wife, 42. I understand that disliking an ex isn't abnormal or anything, but my girlfriend is obsessed with my ex-wife and always try to make bad remarks about her. When it is just to me, I don't care because again, people gossip and talk crap about others in the privacy of their own homes. But this time it was at a restaurant with some of her girlfriends and spouses. Somehow the discussion about my ex-wife's yes, don't ask me how, but they were discussing childbirth and body changes, age, etc., and my ex got dragged. My girlfriend was a bit drunk and she was talking loudly. I hated it and asked her to stop talking. When I got upset, she doubles down because she starts thinking, why do you care? Why don't you want me to talk crap about your ex? She told me this before. Now she was talking about my ex-wife must have a huge one. What? Bro, who are you dating? Where do you find these girls? Dude! I don't feel bad for him because he got himself into this situation, right? I feel so much worse for the people that are just trying to enjoy their dinner within the vicinity of this of this conversation, dude. We have 2 children together. F4M2. The girls started laughing and saying, ew. I yelled to stop, but they ignored me. Wait, the kids started saying that? Then my girlfriend told me, why are you so agitated? Did we hit a nerve? I said, actually, no, my ex-wife was the tightest woman I've had. I don't know how she managed it, but she's very... Dude! What? Dude! How does this come up at the dinner table? What the hell? Wait, no, what? They became silent and my girlfriend started crying and then the woman yelling, My girlfriend has not called or answered me since Saturday. I'm so tired. Dude. This guy picked all of the worst dialogue options, not just in this conversation, but in his entire life leading up to this point right here. Okay, this person makes a good point. Whole situation sucks. If you're co-parenting, at least be cordial, have a neutral relationship with her. She way crossed the line. By the time y'all got to this dinner, the line was already miles behind. How does this even happen? Am I the a-hole for not wanting my mom's boyfriend anywhere near my vacuum? Dude, where? How would your mom's boyfriend even be anywhere near there in the first place? Obviously the answer is NTA, but let's just double check. Well, you call the cops. Also, the state medical board has already revoked his license. I'm sure they want to know he's practicing without a license. If you don't have an adult you can turn to, yeah, I mean, come on. I'm stuck in this weird kind of gross situation right now. I'm 18F, finishing up high school, and still living with my mom, 34F. So a few months ago, my mom started dating this new guy who's 50. Okay, age gap, weirdness aside, things got super awkward for me personally. About 3 months ago, my period started getting like super bad, like talking unusually heavy bleeding and major cramps and just a lot of pain that I've never dealt with before. Obviously, I was like, okay, time to see a gynecologist because I haven't been to one since I was 15, and this isn't something to mess around with. Also, it's time to get a routine pelvic exam anyway. I told my mom thinking she'd be supportive and help me make an appointment. We live in a pretty remote rural area right now. My high school has literally 50 students, and it's like an hour drive to the nearest urgent care even. Also, the insurance I'm on sucks and I need her help with the copay, but nope. The next day she's like, guess what? My boyfriend can do your checkup. Yeah, it turns out he used to be a board certified gynecologist, but got his license yanked away a few years back. And why does she want him to do it? To save money on the copay since our insurance kind of sucks, and to avoid driving 2 hours to see a doctor in town. Now let me be clear, this guy gives me the major creeps. He's done stuff like not knocking before entering my room, making weird jokes that are definitely not okay, and just giving me those vibes that scream stay away. So the thought of him being all up in my business for a pelvic exam? Hell no. When I said as much to my mom, explaining there's no way I'm letting her boyfriend anywhere near me like that, she lost it. She said I was being insulting, assuming the worst about her boyfriend, and that I had hurt his feelings by suggesting he couldn't be trusted. She said I was essentially implying he's a pervert. It ended with her saying I was grounded for even thinking he was some sort of creep. So here I am feeling stuck and kind of violated by the mere suggestion and punished on top of that. Am I the a-hole for standing my ground and not wanting her boyfriend to do the exam? No! I'm curious what bro did to get his license taken away, actually. Maybe it's in the update. Okay, the update was crazy, but I'm getting tired and my voice is getting hoarse. So, you see this ugly little thing? Look at it. It's pathetic. If you subscribe, I'll stop abusing my chair.
I am literally just a chair. My roommate just uses me and abuses me every day and I get no appreciation. Am I the asshole?